I was never close to my family. I grew up far from traditions, far from inheritances, and far from old stories. But everything changed after one unexpected phone call. A lawyer, with a dry voice, told me that my great-uncle, a man I barely remembered, had died and left me a country house in Vermont. All I knew was that it was an old, isolated house in the middle of the mountains, and that behind it, there was a small family cemetery. I'll admit, the idea intrigued me. I was going through a rough patch, so I thought, why not? Maybe it would be a chance to clear my head, maybe even sell the place. The trip was long, through dense forests and narrow roads. The closer I got, the more my phone signal disappeared. GPS completely lost track, and I had to rely on an old printed map the lawyer had sent me. When I arrived, it was already late in the afternoon. The sky was gray, and a thick fog covered everything like a heavy blanket. The house looked exactly like I imagined. Old, built of stone, with rotting wooden window frames and a dark roof. But what caught my eye was the cemetery out back. Small, surrounded by a rusted iron fence, with tombstones so worn down I could barely read them. The strangest part? Everything felt unnaturally still. That first night, the silence was absolute. No crickets, no wind. It was like the world had been shut off. At exactly 3:17 a.m., I woke up out of nowhere. A loud creak, like a floorboard being stepped on, echoed from the living room. I froze, listening. Nothing. But when I looked out the window, I swear on everything, I saw someone in the cemetery. A dark figure, standing still between the tombstones. Completely motionless, like a statue. I tried to focus, but the fog swallowed everything, and when I blinked, it was gone. The next morning, I went to the cemetery. I had to prove to myself it was just a dream. But there, among the moss-covered stones, one grave stood out. It was better preserved than the others, and the name carved into it was Isadora Langley, apparently my great-grandmother. What bothered me was the inscription beneath it. May her soul never awaken. Creepy. I moved on. Later that day, while digging through some old books in the house's library, I found a diary. It was hers. And what was written inside made my blood run cold. She spoke of voices at night, shadows in the trees, and a pact made with something from the forest. Something ancient, hungry, that demanded sacrifices in exchange for protection. On the third night, I woke up again. Same time. 3:17 a.m. But this time, the lights flickered and went out. A biting cold filled the room. And then I heard footsteps, not upstairs, but coming from the basement. I grabbed a flashlight and went down. The basement door was wide open, even though I was sure I had locked it the day before. Down there, the air was thick, damp, almost suffocating. In the corner, I found a chair with leather straps on the arms. Like someone had been tied there. The wood was scratched, with deep claw marks, like someone had tried to break free in desperation. But the worst part came next. Behind an old folding screen, I found a tall mirror, dusty and cracked. When I got close, my reflection didn't move. It just stared at me, and then, it smiled. I swear I saw it. I stumbled back and ran out. But something inside me had already changed. I started dreaming of things I had never lived. Visions of a woman in black, walking through the halls. Children with no eyes, sitting at the kitchen table. And every night, that figure in the cemetery was closer. One step closer to the house. I tried to leave. I really did. I packed my things, got in the car, but the road was gone. Just gone. In its place, there was only forest. As if the house had been moved, somewhere off the map. I went back inside, panicking. Isadora's diary was on the table, wide open. But now, the pages were clean, new, as if they had just been written. And on the last page, a new line appeared right before my eyes. Now, it's your turn. I heard the front door slam shut, but it had been locked. Then, a whisper, coming from the mirror. I went to it, against all logic, and there was my reflection again. But this time, I wasn't alone. Behind me, in the mirror, were dozens of figures. All with blank faces, black eyes. And all of them, smiling. That's when everything went black. I don't remember what happened next. When I woke up, I was standing in the cemetery, right in front of a new tombstone, with my name on it. My name, my birth date, and the death date left blank. I ran back to the house, or what I thought was the house. But now it looked different. The walls were cracked, gray. The windows all boarded up. And the mirror? It was still there. And it watches me. I don't know if I'm still alive. I don't know if I'm trapped, or if something else took my place. But I do know this. If you ever find that house, don't go inside. Don't look in the mirror. And for the love of God, never wake up at 3:17 a.m.